here from Inside Wrestling Truth, and today we have the Blackanese assassin, Menace. Menace, how you doing, man?
All right, how are you?
Real good. Just tell us where you're from and who trained you.
Well, originally, I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee. I hail from the land of the rising sun, which that's pretty much a lot of my background getting into wrestling. Japanese style, big fan of that. Also, kind of a background in Kenpo Jiu-Jitsu, so I like to bring a little bit of that into the ring as well. I was actually trained by Roddy Rick Connors. He was real big in the late 70s, 80s. Mid-Atlantic, Georgia, Georgia Mid-South Wrestling. He's, guy that's been around for a long time. It's funny, I just lucked up and ran into him, and he did a show. I went to see him, talked to him about doing some training, and the next day I was in his backyard training.
Awesome.
I'm a wrestler.
So what made you want to get into the wrestling business?
Wrestling itself. Gosh, I remember being, maybe 5, 6 years old. Me and my dad, my brothers would sit and watch NWA wrestling every Saturday. And then, after the shows, we'd all start wrestling around the living room. We went to the shows at the Coliseum in Knoxville, Tennessee. Watched the Mongolian Stomper, the Fuller Brothers, the list goes on, from back in those days. And I was just hooked, man, just watching wrestling. I just knew that was something I wanted to do.
What about your worst injury?
Worst injury, had to be a stinger. I did a show back in maybe 2002. I took a dead end, which is, a lot of people know as the J driller, Jay Briscoe uses it. I took one of those off the apron through a table, through the floor. And I lost all feeling on the left side of my body for about 30 seconds. And, I felt fine after that. Went back in the ring, wrestled for 30 minutes, won the match.
How did your character or gimmick come about? How did you come up with that?
With Menace character, me and a buddy of mine, we actually sat down and, we just kind of threw some ideas together. I knew I wanted to be under a mask. And, as far as names go, we just threw a bunch of names down and we threw stuff on the wall, man. Whatever stuck that was, very catchy, very quick, and very easy. And Menace was it. And, Menace was born.
Right. Now, I've watched you wrestle here and in PWF, and your moves are awesome, dude. I just wanted to know, how'd you come up with your moveset?
Moveset, just being in training. I remember when I first started wrestling, I was doing some shows, and I looked, at these guys that were coming out. It was a lot of out-of-shape guys, and I was this small, skinny kid. And I remember two of the other main reasons that made me want to be a professional wrestler. I loved wrestling in general, but I saw one day after school, Jerry Lynn and the 1-2-3 Kid, which at the time was Lightning Kid, and I was just blown away by what they were doing because it was so different than WWF and NWA, which that was pretty much the only thing you got to see on TV. Right. And I saw the Lightning Kid, here he was as big as a broom. And I said at that moment, if that guy can wrestle, I can wrestle. But I knew going into being a wrestler, I couldn't just be trying to compete with these big guys that are out of shape. I had to find something that was going to be different for me. So, it just started with taking something simple and how can I tweak it to make it my own and be flashy and people, catch people's eye. Wow, that was actually pretty cool. Right. So I had to find something to stand out for me, and just started trying new stuff. And then I got my eyes on some Lucha Libre for the first time back in early 90s. Okay. And just blown away by their moveset. But I didn't want to copy them. I wanted to take some of their stuff and try to tweak it and make it my own.
What legends have you had the opportunity to work with?
Oh, geez, a lot. There's guys I wouldn't really consider them legends yet, but there's guys that you will see in a Hall of Fame one day. Chris Sabin, Jay Lethal, Christopher Daniels. That's probably my smoothest match ever, working Christopher Daniels. I've been in the ring with Tracy Smothers. That's a great guy. Get a lot of knowledge from. Dr. Tom Pritchard. Gosh, the list goes on. Bobby Blaze from back in the NWA Smoky Mountain days. It was just a lot of guys, a lot of years, being a lot of shows, getting an opportunity to work with a lot of guys, being in the locker room, just picking their brain, just trying to find out little things here and there. Jerry Lynn, I got a pleasure to work with Jerry Lynn. So, cool. Anytime I get in the ring, you're in the locker room with those guys, I'm a sponge, man. I'm right next to them, picking their brain, trying to pick up little things that I may have missed, here and there. But yeah, I'm a student of the game, man.
What are some of your favorite matches of your career?
Favorite match? Like I said, Christopher Daniels, definitely the smoothest match I've had. I've had a lot. The one I took the injury in, we called it, it's like a big marathon match. I think the match itself went for 1 hour and 13 minutes. Wow. But I remember just taking that stinger, and I felt fine and just went back out and wrestled for 30 more minutes. So, that was one of the big ones that stand out. Me, a guy named Robbie Race, Shane Andrews, Jason Extreme, Dave Pillman. I mean, all those guys were in that match. You know, if I could have done a match without those guys, I mean, it was something I will always remember. You know, just taking that stinger and be able to go out and do that. So that would probably be one of the events that stand out.
Who are some of your favorite people to wrestle? I know you kind of talked about it there, but
I've wrestled a lot of guys, man. Like here at this company, I've got to work with Isaiah once. I would love to get in the ring with him again. We just had chemistry, man. We did a match, and it went to a time limit draw. So I feel like, you know, the fans wanted a rematch. I feel like that's a match we should do again. Very fun match to work with. Chase Stevens, he's here tonight. I've got to get in the ring with him. You know, a lot of guys are good guys. You know, I'm working with Gary J tonight. I've been looking forward to working with him.
that's gonna be an awesome match.
So I'm looking forward to that. So it's hard to, you know, just name one individual person. I mean, there's so many great guys, you know, in this business. So I've got to get a chance to get in the ring with.
What guys from the indies do you want to work with that you haven't?
There's quite a few now. I will say Chikara is a place I would love to go work. I feel my character could give them something, you know, a little different that they haven't seen there. IW Mid-South, that's another place that's on my list to go work. You know, there's a lot of guys, you know, a lot of good places, but those places that stand out. You know, I've followed them for the past couple of years. So I just feel like, given the opportunity, I think I've had something I could offer them. You know, any company I go work for, you know,
Yeah.
I'm there just to please the crowd, you know, make sure I get over with the company, with the crowd, you know, bring me back. All I need to ask for is just an opportunity, man.
Who are some of the snuggest guys you've been in the ring with?
Probably the snuggest guys. My trainer, Rick Connors. Rick, well, he was stiff, and, you know, he told me, you know, you give what you get. So, you know, Rick, you know, really put it on me, man. But, you know, I actually enjoyed it because, you know, it's one of those things where if I did give it back to him, I know he's just going to beat on me. But I earned respect by that. So, you know, snug guys, you know, if a guy works snug with me, you know, I'm going to give it back to him. So there's really not, you know, nothing that's been too snug that, you know, I just felt like, okay, maybe this guy was a little too stiff, I should say. I just give what I get. So nothing too bad in that department.
What's your thoughts on hardcore wrestling?
Hardcore wrestling, it was really big, you know, ECW. You know, anytime you mention hardcore wrestling, ECW, that's the first thing that pops out. I actually got to go work for Combat Zone Wrestling. At the time, they were still doing a lot of the hardcore stuff. And, you know, I feel like it had its time. Maybe it'll come back around. Myself, I've done a little bit of hardcore stuff here and there. It's nothing that I would say that's something I really want to go out and do is hardcore. You know, professional wrestling, I'm a wrestler. I like to get in the ring, you know, just show the different styles that I can do. But, you know, hardcore wrestling, you know, the guys that want to go out there and do it, man, you know, my hat's off to them. You know, I hope they stay safe. You know, a lot of guys get injured pretty bad doing that stuff, and I hate to see, you know, some brothers in the locker room, you know, go through that. So,
What's your favorite and least favorite companies to work for?
Least favorite company would be a company, I don't have any names per se, but a company that I would go to where I go in the locker room and I see guys that's only been trained for, you know, 2 or 3 weeks, and, you know, they're thrown in the ring. That's what kills the business. Companies I enjoy working for, I enjoy working here at CCW. PWF, when I was in Kentucky, they're actually starting back up, Pro Wrestling Revolution. Those are companies. In Tennessee, I worked for Eagle Pro, which is in Athens, Tennessee. It's a very fun company to work for. Full Throttle Wrestling, which is in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. You know, these places I've been at for quite a while. You know, made my name there, but they're fun places to go to. I just hate that, you know, there's not a lot of coverage in these places. You know, other people can see the product that they put on.
Who are some of the people in the business you respect the most?
Guys I respect the most, I would have to say, truly, you know, there's a lot of guys that we look up to. You know, growing up, you see these guys, oh, I'd love to, you know, get in the ring and meet that guy, whatever. But the guys that stay true to the business, man, those are the ones that really, you know, really have me right here. You know, because some guys do it for the money, you know, they don't care about the boys, and, you know, that's not me, because when I come to a show, it's not about me at the show, it's about the company, what I can do to help the company for the night. So guys that are, you know, just true to wrestling, true to the locker room, true to the fans, those are the ones I really respect.
What's your thoughts on the current state of independent wrestling?
Current state of independent wrestling, some of it's good, some of it's bad. I think the thing that really hurts a lot of independent wrestling is the lack of coverage that it can get. Because, you know, you look in Pro Wrestling Illustrated, you see Ring of Honor and all these companies up north.
Right.
And, you know, which, you know, they have their name made, but there's a lot of other companies too that are just as good as they are. They just don't have the coverage. You know, that's a lot of hungry guys that are trying to venture out that may not have a chance to go work there, but want to work these other places. There's a lot of good talent, man. Wrestling's everywhere. And it's a shame that a lot of guys don't get, the push that they deserve, get an opportunity they deserve.
Thoughts on the first time working for CCW in the Coliseum?
First time? Well, I've been here many moons ago. I came up here, but coming here in a six-sided ring, that was different for me. Coming here was the first time I got to work in a six-sided ring.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good twist. TNA has it. It's one thing to see it on TV, but a show like this, you can come and see it live and get an opportunity to work in a ring like that. It kind of changes your game up a little bit more. It makes you have to think a little bit harder, it makes you a little more creative. So it's really fun doing that, and I enjoy coming here.
I'm going to name some names off to you, and you just kind of tell me your thoughts on that individual, okay?
All right.
The first one is Jason Kincaid.
Awesome.
Isaiah.
Awesome. My ninja.
Jordan Cage.
Pitch perfect.
Cash Flow.
Cha-ching.
Shane Mercer.
Jacked up.
Father Fury.
Not too scary.
Jimmy Felcher.
Juicy.
And the last one is Lennox Norris.
Lennox Norris. Lennox is pretty cool dude. I've got a chance to work with him. I'd like to do some more work with him. I'd like for him to get down here and let us tear it up from the ground.
Yeah, that would be cool, man. What's the hardest bump you've ever took? Would that be the Stinger or?
No, actually it wouldn't be the Stinger. That one was pretty rough, but I remember, gosh, back when I first got in, we got into a new ring and I did a spinning heel kick. And I came down and I thought I broke my back. I mean, it was rough. I just remember laying there, I could not feel my legs, and it just felt like somebody poured gasoline and lit it on my legs. My legs were on fire. I'd go to the doctor. They would not clear me for a while. It was just a bump. I hit my lower back, and I thought I broke my back. It was pretty rough. I think that was a little bit rougher than the Stinger.
Okay. If you could work with one guy from any era, who would it be?
Any era? Right now, I'd have to say Kenta Kobashi. That's can't go wrong there. That's one of my big idols from Japan. Kenta Kobashi for sure.
Okay. What would it take for you to lose your mask, and do you think it will ever happen?
I think honestly the only way I'm probably going to lose this mask, if it was to happen, it would be me down in Mexico in a big angle with one of the luchadors down.
Okay.
I'm not saying it couldn't happen here, but there's really no stake in why would somebody want to take my mask. It would be a bigger deal in Mexico for me to lose my mask.
What do you love and hate the most about wrestling?
Love the sport of wrestling. Being creative, human game of chess, to quote Larry Zbyszko. Just stepping into the ring each night with somebody different and using my brain to think, what can I do to be 5 steps ahead of this guy and stay on top? That's really what I love about wrestling. What I hate about wrestling is politics.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing about wrestling, is a lot of the politics. It's just, that's what kills the business. That's what makes the boys start to hate the business, is politics.
I'm going to ask you about some different promotions.
Right.
You keep up with wrestling,
Oh, yeah.
Okay, the first one is Ring of Honor.
Ring of Honor. I would love to get an opportunity to go there and, show those guys what I can do. I've wrestled a lot of guys from out of that company. I think I could hold my own in Ring of Honor, just given the opportunity.
NXT?
NXT, I love NXT. I believe NXT should move from the network onto national TV. I like it because it's getting guys from the independents. It's not watered down to be WWE's robots. They're letting those guys go out there and do their thing, and that's what I like about NXT.
TNA?
TNA, I was a big fan of TNA. I don't say I hate TNA. TNA just seems like it's not, they're not as hungry as they used to be.
And the last one, of course, is WWE.
WWE, I believe WWE has got a lot better once they actually got a lot of guys like Daniel Bryan, Cesaro, those guys. Brought those guys in and let them be themselves instead of being, like I said, they're robots.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that's actually helped WWE. I mean, look at Daniel Bryan. He's been in the ring with Sheamus, John Cena. Have you ever seen a match of his where people chant it boring, or they always chant, "This is awesome"?
Yeah.
That guy's a workhorse.
Yeah.
Just let those guys get down there and do their thing. I wish they would let more guys come out and do their own things. Kofi Kingston, for example, that's the guy they're holding down, man. Kofi Kingston, that sky's the limit for that dude. It's just letting him have his opportunity. There again, the politics is a big part of that.
What was your thoughts on Seth Rollins cashing in?
You know, I didn't get to see WrestleMania, but
okay.
I think it was good for him. Roman Reigns wasn't ready.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar extended his contract. You know, they're creating their little storylines. I think Brock should have kept the belt, maybe him and Seth at a different time. But I think it's a big deal for him because it's WrestleMania. I think it's awesome for him. I'm you know, hats off to him. He's doing his thing, man. He's one of those guys, man, that's just busting his tail for them.
Yeah.
So, good job, Seth.
Memories of bad matches.
Bad matches, jeez. Being in the ring with guys that aren't fully trained. There's some pretty bad ones. I actually got in the ring one time with a guy, Bob Wire was his name, and I remember just wrestling him, and he crapped his pants right in the middle of the match. I just remember doing the match, and something stunk, and sure enough, he crapped his pants right in the middle of the match. That's probably one of the worst matches I've had. But I've had a good match with this guy. You know, before that, I don't know if he was just scared or what, but we did a show one night, and I mean, you know, this is a guy that was not fully trained, but the match, the first time we got to work, it was an opportunity, it was a big show, and honestly, we went out and stole the show. I mean, it was me carrying him through a good match, which was a great match, but the worst match, sometime later we worked again, and he crapped his pants. And, you know, don't get any worse than that.
Now, Jimmy told me that you can go, you know, for you know, you can work a long match. What's been your longest match?
Probably about 1 hour and 20 minutes. Endurance, that was the name of the match where I took the stinger. We did 2 of those. The second one was about 1 hour and 20 minutes. And it's one of those things, man, like, a lot of guys get in the ring with me, and I'm like, man, my cardio, I gotta get my cardio up. I'm not a real big cardio person. I just know when I'm in the ring, I'll give you guys my heart, man. I'll give you my heart and soul in that ring. And, you know, I just have that drive to go out and do what I gotta do, you know, keep the crowd entertained, go out and do my match, and, you know, at the end of the night, that's what I want people to talk about when they leave. Did you see that match Menace had? That's the reason I want to come back. That's what I like people to do.
What's been your favorite feud?
Favorite feud that I had, probably with Shane Andrews. I met this guy, he was going by Kid Crazy at the time. This was, gosh, back 2001 maybe, and I met this guy, a lot of people tell me about him. We met, and we did one match maybe the following week, and I kid you not, for almost 3 years straight, it was just me and him. Nobody would book either of us separate, they would book the match. So me and him, probably almost, like I said, almost 3 years, we had this angle that went that long, and it was great matches. And, you know, I thank him, because I probably wouldn't be here today if it wasn't, you know, for him pushing me. The same damn return, I'm me pushing him.
Favorite town and city to wrestle in?
The ones that I've worked in, this is a fun place to work. This building's an historic building. I love coming here. There's been like too many to name, but I would have to say this is one of the ones that stand out because it's not a National Guard armory. It's a big historic place. Great crowd comes here. Love the setup. So right now, I'd probably just put this one on top of my list here at CCW.
Who have you learned the most from in the wrestling business?
Learning the most from... I've learned a lot from Rick Connors, just training with him. Rock and Roll Ricky Morton, I would have to say with him. I've had an opportunity to tag team with him. For months, I was his tag team partner up in Tennessee. And, you know, I always knew Ricky Morton from back in the day, you know, NWA days, watching him. But, you know, just being in the locker room with him, you know, listen to his stories and, you know, listen to him, you know, just critique certain things in a wrestling match of how this should flow this way, this should flow this way. So right now, I'd probably have to say Ricky Morton. Tracy Smothers top of the list too. That's class act. Tracy, love Tracy.
Biggest regrets?
One of my biggest regrets is not taking an opportunity to go to PWF Northeast. It was in Providence, Rhode Island. We were set to do a show. Me and my buddy at the time, we were going to go up later, and we never went. And to this day, I regret ever going up there because I kind of feel like maybe I missed out on an opportunity to do something really big by going there, and it didn't happen. So probably my biggest regret, not going up there.
Who are some of the people that you respect the most in the wrestling world?
To name people, Tracy Smothers, Ricky Morton, Dirty White Boy, I don't know if you guys remember him from Smoky Mountain, Jim Cornette. I mean, I've got to work with him and Dr. Tom for knowledge from those guys, man. Those guys really respect, because, you know, they help me out in a lot of ways. You know, little things that, like I said, I may have missed here and there, they can kind of point those out and lead me in this direction. You know, 'cause I'm always open to learning new stuff. Wrestling never gets boring because you can always learn something. And being around those guys, you learn a lot just being around those guys.
What does Menace do when he's not wrestling?
When Menace is not wrestling, I'm doing homework. Homework consists of studying. That is Japanese, lucha libre style, European wrestling, American wrestling, any wrestling I get my hands on, man. Right now I'm watching a lot of stuff from over in England, a lot of good stuff over there. So just studying, man. Not doing that, I'm at the gym. Maybe little video games here and there, but just always studying wrestling, man. You know, just want to learn something.
What's your thoughts on your match tonight?
My thoughts tonight, Gary J. I have a feeling, brother, we're going to tear it up tonight, man. I've heard a lot about this guy. My first time getting to see him, he was in Jakarta. He wrestled under Gary the Bar now. And he's doing Gary J now. I got to see some stuff in Jakarta, some stuff in Ohio of his. So, you know, I think his style, my style, you know, I think once we mix it together in the ring tonight, I think we're going to tear it up. So I'm looking forward to the opportunity, and I hope he is as well.
My last question for you is, what's your favorite pro wrestling moment as a fan?
Favorite moment as a pro wrestling as a fan? As a fan, I would probably say one of my meeting The Rock.
Oh, really?
You know, yeah, meeting The Rock was pretty cool. I went to a WWE show, and here I actually got to sneak backstage. It's a funny story. Got to sneak backstage. All these kids see Triple H. Triple H, he's like, blah, blah, blah. So security comes, and he's just kind of talking to these kids. I just kind of tiptoe this way, and this door comes flying open, and I'm telling you, me and The Rock were nose to nose. And got to meet him, and, you know, he signed autographs, sit there and talk with me, man. He was really cool. So that was one of the big things. You know, that's before he became the big movie star, too.
Yeah.
He was on the verge of that. So meeting The Rock was really cool. Shawn Michaels was really cool, too. I mean, I met a lot of cool guys, but I have to say The Rock. That was, you know, that's something probably never going to happen again. But meeting The Rock, that was pretty cool as a fan.
Menace, I appreciate you coming and doing this interview with me, man. I'm a big fan of yours, honestly. I'm not sitting here trying to mark out. I really do enjoy your ring work, dude.
Thank you very much, man. Like I said, I'm a student of the game. You know, I don't want to go out here and bore anybody. You know, I just like to. I like to be creative. I like to show people something different. You know, a different style each time that I come out and work. So I'm glad. You know, I'm glad that I got a fan.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm doing something right. Is
there anything else you'd like to throw out there? How people can follow you, or
follow me? You can catch me on Facebook. Facebook/Menace Wrestler. I always got updates of where I'm going to be at different shows. You know, anytime I post any shows that I have coming up, if you guys can make it out to see a show, definitely come check it out. Definitely come here at CCW, Evansville, Indiana. It's a fun show. Great times. A lot of history at this place. Today's the 14th year anniversary. I plan on being here the 15-year anniversary. Hopefully it's a chill.
Thanks, man.
Thank you very much.